Well, hi there, Colin, aka the Tone Wizard here, and I hope you're doing very well wherever it is that you may happen to be. I happen to be heading for the first time in over 2 years down to the United States of America, a place that I used to go quite often prior to recent events and prior to having a baby. I just had a baby at the end of April, and my wife was obviously allegedly pregnant before that, so we didn't really get out much. But I'm happy to be going back, and I'm extra thrilled to be going down there because I'm going to see a couple of my favorite bands play, and one act that I'm very interested to watch as well. I'm going down to T-Mobile Stadium or Arena, or I think it's a stadium in Seattle, Washington, to see the Strokes play with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and also featuring Thundercats. So the Red Hot Chili Peppers is one of my favorite bands of all time, and John Frusciante, the guitar player, has recently joined back there. I saw them years ago at Coachella with Josh Klinghoffer, whatever his name is. It was great, but obviously I want to see them with Frusciante. He's one of my favorite guitar players of all time. But I'm also excited to see the Strokes because the Strokes put out an album right at the beginning of the aforementioned circumstances that I enjoyed quite a bit. In 2020, they put out the new Abnormal album, I think it was called, and I really dug that album. I hadn't previously been listening to the Strokes aside from one song called Reptilia, but I really got into that, so I'm very excited to get down there and have a look. And I'm going to video it because what the fuck else am I going to do? I'm going solo. My friend was supposed to go, he canceled. Originally I was supposed to go with my wife. She went and had a baby. Bad move. Anyhow, I'm very thankful that she's letting me go on this trip, and it's going to be an in and an out. But I'm driving down the 99 here, and I'm pretty close to the border, and I'm hoping that goes okay. American border guards aren't always the friendliest to people, but I always try to be friendly in those situations, and hopefully that goes okay. So we'll see what happens there, and we'll check in after that. There she is, the old peace arch, a symbol of unity and brotherhood between two nations. And here's the line I've been stuck in for an hour. Okay, so I have crossed over the border into Washington from Vancouver, and the border guard was actually very nice. He was a young guy, and I said I was coming down to see a concert, and he immediately said the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I said yes. And he pointed out that I've got the kitty mirror in the back there and asked where the baby was, and I said, well, we bought the tickets before we had the baby, and my wife stayed home, so I fucking owe her forever, which I certainly do. But very nice border guards, but I don't know if I have a nervous nature or if it's just a Canadian thing, but as soon as I get within like 4 cars of the border, I just become incredibly nervous. I start sweating a little bit. I start smiling like, I don't know what it is. I think years ago, my wife was getting PR to stay in Canada, and we had to come across the border and come back in for her to immigrate in, and so we did so. The Canadian border guards, I say that American border guards aren't always friendly, but I think border guards in general aren't very friendly. And they gave her a fucking hell of a time, made her cry and stuff, and they made, basically kind of insulted me. But that's a long story that has nothing to do with this trip. I'm very happy to be coming down to America once again. This is my first time out of the country in years, and I'm very excited to see this show. So off we fucking go! So, first and foremost, I am very excited to be seeing the Red Hot Chili Peppers. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, I'd seen them in Coachella in like 2014, I want to say, with Josh Klinghoffer, but of course John Frusciante, goddammit, has rejoined the band. He's the original guitar player, and in my opinion, he's one of the best classic rock guitar players of all time. His guitar style has always been something that I've aspired to as a guitarist myself. I've always tried to play like him. Of course, a lot of his stuff is rooted in the Hendrix sort of style, but what he's done with effects and with very simple voicing and masterful melody work, I think has made him a very unique guitar player. on anyone's top 10 guitar playlist. There's some people that really don't rate him, and there's some people that don't rate the Red Hot Chili Peppers. There's people who make fun of Anthony Kiedis's kind of rap rock, California, California, good God, girl, like that kind of thing. But I think that's low-hanging fruit. When I hear a Red Hot Chili Peppers album, a new Red Hot Chili Peppers album, like the one they just put out, Unlimited Love, when I hear that, I have expectations. I've been a fan for my whole life. The album Californication came out in '99. I was vacationing up at my dad's recreational property. I think in July of that year that album came out, and I would wait to listen to the top 10 countdown at noon, the top 10 countdown at 5, and the top 10 countdown at 10 o'clock on, I think it was Rock 99 or something like that. And I would stop what I was doing. If I was out fishing, I would come home and listen to that, because at that time in the top 10, I think there were like 4 Red Hot Chili Pepper tracks in the top 10. Other Side, Scar Tissue, Californication, and I can't quite remember if the other one was Parallel Universe or something like that. But at any rate, that was a massive album for me as a kid, and I was already a fan, but I became a lifelong fan listening to that fucking album. And the guitar work on there actually may have been one of the albums that inspired me to pick up a guitar. His work on that album is so simple. He does use a lot of effects, but he tends to use them. He uses them more as an artist, I think, than some people do. Some people, they want a flange sound, they put on a flanger, but he uses envelope filters and he uses other things to kind of squeeze his sound down. He has a very, very cool fuzz tone that's more just like a little sustain thing that you hear. I've always loved his guitar work, and for that reason, I'm very excited that he's back in the band. And I can't wait to see him. It'll be a lifelong aspiration fulfilled for me. But anyways, getting back to it, when I do hear a Red Hot Chili Peppers album, such as the new one they've just put out, Unlimited Love, which is actually a double album, and they're releasing another one in October that's going to be a double album. But when I do hear a Red Hot Chili Peppers album, I do have some expectations. Number one, I expect it to be good, and they always fucking are. They've been working with Rick Rubin for years again, and they've got back together with him, so you're gonna expect it to sound like the fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think Rick's the kind of guy that allows them to experiment but keeps them on track and keeps them true to their sound. And I think as a band that's been going as long as they have, they've proved that there's a great merit into sticking to your sound. You can experiment, you can veer off, and you can go in different directions, but their sound is very original. They made their own sound, in my opinion, and I expect them to sound like that. And, you know, not that they owe me anything, but I expect the album to be great, which it is. I expect there to be a variety of songs with slightly different variations of the timbre, if you will. And I expect there to be some hits on there, which there certainly fucking is. My favorite track on there would probably be Bastards of the Light, which I don't think is really what you call a hit off there. But the tracks they put out as singles, I think Poster Child was the first one that I heard, and it's a classic Red Hot Chili Peppers banger, and I very much like listening to that. Now, there are very few bands that I will travel down 3 hours out of my country and pay to stay in a hotel to go and see. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers are one of those bands, especially with John Frusciante back into the mix. There are even fewer bands that have been going as long as they have that I would even think about going to see under any circumstances, because so many bands, you know, they break up, they reform, as the Chili Peppers have themselves. But after 30 years, they're not doing anything that interests me and haven't done anything that interests me for 20 years. A prime example of that would be the Smashing Pumpkins. Smashing Pumpkins was a formative band for me. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness came out when I was probably 14 or 15 years old, I think. And I had that album on all fucking day, every fucking day. And that album is almost untouchable in terms of nostalgia for me. It's not my favorite album, but it encapsulates my childhood. Another one would probably be Our Lady Peace Clumsy, and that might be something that some of you foreign audiences aren't familiar with. But at any rate, I will travel to go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers, even if John Frusciante hadn't left the band and come back in. I'll go down to see them, because I know They're going to play for 2.5, 3 hours, and I'm going to love every fucking minute of it. They're excellent musicians. They take care of themselves. I think they're all sober now, and they're committed to putting on a show, not only playing the hits, but putting on a fucking show. There's going to be jam sequences. There's going to be the stadium aesthetic. I actually have a floor seat in the seated area because I'm fucking old, but I'm very excited to go see this. And truthfully, in terms of stadium bands, I don't know if there's another stadium band that I would travel to go see like this outside of a band like Fish or Ween or something like that, which I don't consider to be stadium bands, to be honest. Maybe Fish, I think they play bigger amphitheaters, and Ween might play a smaller hockey arena from time to time, but they're not the standard arena rock fodder. And for what I paid for these tickets, which is quite expensive, I think I paid about $250 US for my ticket. I don't think there's many other bands that I'm going to shell that out for, but I have the confidence in the Chili Peppers that they're going to give me that show. Cherry on top of this concert for me will be that it's the Chili Peppers and the Strokes. And the Strokes is a band that I had dismissed years and years and years ago when they first came out. They had that song, Last Night She Said, Oh, but I feel so. That was a bastardization of that, but they had that song, and yeah, it was a good song, but I think I heard somebody say that it sounded like a Rolling Stone song or an Iggy Pop song or something like that. And to be honest, as the older I fucking get, the less I fucking care about people ripping people off. If somebody's really been ripped off, the fucking court system and the record labels will handle all that shit. And it's not my fucking problem. If it sounds good coming out of my speakers, makes me feel good when I listen to it, I could really give a fuck. Back when they first came out, I think maybe, you know, their hipster aesthetic and the fact that I was painfully uncool, maybe that deterred me from listening. I don't know. I think I also lumped them into the category of a band like Jet, who, I mean, it's like I just said, I don't mind. If something's good, it's good, but in terms of rip-off artists, those guys, I mean, they sounded like the Beatles. That one Jet song, I can't remember what it was, but I absolutely didn't. It just wasn't to my taste. But anyways, I don't know why I dismissed the Strokes. So fast forward to 2020, and I was spending a lot of time in my truck driving around. I was fortunate enough to be able to continue to work because I work outside during the lockdown, and I had to drive my staff to and from work every day because they were afraid to take public transit. Fair enough. At any rate, I was in the truck a lot, and one day my iPhone, Spotify shuffled in the new Abnormal album by the Strokes when it came out, and I listened to one track. I think it was The Adults Are Talking, and then I thought I'd give the whole album a go, and I stayed in my truck and listened to that whole thing front to back. I think it's a fantastic album, and I believe they're producing that with Rick Rubin as well, which is kind of funny because I'm going to see two bands who worked with Rick Rubin now, the Chili Peppers almost exclusively, and I'm fucking excited about that. But I've really gotten into the Strokes, and I love the guitar work. I love the interplay between Albert Hammond Jr. and the other guy whose name I can't recall. I like the drummer's steadfast fucking... Basically, he's a very stylish metronome, and I mean that as a compliment because I think you're either... With drums, I mean, I guess it's like anything, but you're either a phenomenon, a John Bonham type, or you're just a fucking steady, fucking good rock drummer, a la AC/DC. A la some of the guy in Radiohead. You do what's appropriate for the song and you drive the fucking beat when it needs to be driven. I love that about the Strokes. The bass player is a guy, I don't know if he contains the full grasp or spectrum of human emotion. I have never seen him look happy or sad on stage or in a music video, but he plays the bass guitar good enough to be in that band, and he's I'm a kid. He does a good job. There's some good bass lines in there. And Julian Casablancas, I think, is probably, the more I learn about him, he's probably one of the most underrated songwriters and artists that there are. Because it's my understanding that he writes most of the Strokes' music, but prefers to be a frontman and doesn't play guitar. And I heard a pretty good interview with Albert Hammond where he talked about that. But the guy has other projects like the Voids, where he takes kind of what the Strokes do. So you have the songwriting sensibility, but he goes way off into left field with the instrumentation, electronics and guitars and stuff. So that's a good band to check out. But I'm very, very excited to see the Strokes. It's something that I didn't quite think I would ever get to see, and I can't wait. got beautiful T-Mobile Park, and if we look very carefully in the crowd, this individual. Gee, what does that say? You be ye reconciled. Not today. So it's quite the crowd, as you can see. I missed Thundercat because I was drinking beer and eating a cheesesteak sandwich that turned out to be a chicken cheesesteak. Fuck me, what a life I've led that's a problem I have. Anyways, really great show the Strokes put on, and I'm sat up over there on the floor somewhere. Really good fucking show so far. You know what? Beer lines down here on the floor are a fucking joke. There's like nobody in them. But there's a lineup over my shoulder that goes all the way down there. And that's merchandise. I wanted to buy my wife a shirt, but that ain't gonna fucking happen. I tell you what is gonna happen though. I'm gonna get another fucking IPA in me, and I'm gonna enjoy the chili peppers that are just about to take the stage over there. But what a show. Look at this crowd. Jesus Christ. I think I'm getting drunk tonight. That's all I can say. All right, so end of the night, and maybe, just maybe, I went out for a couple of beers after the concert. Maybe. It's none of your business. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Who's to say? At any rate, back in the hotel, I got the tub sized up here. I might be able to take a bath. I gotta be honest with you. Guy, yeah, I'm 6'1". I don't always get to take a bath. Sometimes the tubs, they just don't accommodate a man of my length, let's just say. And that's yeah. Walked home from the concert venue because I couldn't get an Uber. I took an Uber there. It was like $16. And the Uber back was going to be like $60 US, which for Canadian is like $70. And I was like, no fucking way. I will risk being robbed. I don't know what part of town I'm in, but there was a bunch of people out, so I figured I was fine. And I was. Walked home, and fucking hills everywhere. God damn it. I almost had a fucking full-on jammer. But I guess what a good concert. What a good concert, man. Shit. The Chili Peppers were fucking awesome. Seeing John Frusciante play some of those songs that I loved when I was like 14, 15, 12, whatever, however many fucking years minus now it was. Fan-fucking-tastic. It was, I got the full-on chills. My wife couldn't join me for the concert, but the person that I sold the seat on Ticketmaster, the person I sold the seat to, they fucking, I gave them a good deal on this. I lost a little bit of money on that ticket, but I honestly, I could be a liar, and I could say that I was being charitable, and I was like, I'll just fucking put this up there, just out of the goodness of my heart for whatever. But it's not true. I put it up there for a lower price. I probably could have got twice what I put up there for. I'm not a businessman, if you know from watching my channel. At any rate, it was a Korean person who has been in Seattle for a couple of years, and they were a bass player, and they were fucking air bassing along to the Strokes and to the Chili Peppers, and they fucking loved it. So you know what? That ticket went to a good place. I really wish my wife could be here. I fucking owe my wife. And, you know, later on when I'm taking a nice bath and drinking beer, I will be thankful for my wife for letting me come to this concert and to make this vlog, god damn it. But, my God, what a fucking guitar player John Frusciante is. What a band the Red Hot Chili Peppers are. Dear God. They did stuff like Parallel Universe. They played I Like Dirt, I think it's called I Like Dirt, and it was just fucking full bore for me. We didn't get an Under the Bridge, but to be honest with you, I didn't really want an Under the Bridge as much as I wanted some of the stuff that they did do. So I was grateful for that. I saw Frusciante pull out the big Gretsch and play Californication. It was fucking fantastic. And also, the Strokes were very good. I missed Thundercat altogether. The ticket said 6:30. I was like, no fucking way they're going to start at 6:30. And I guess they fucking did. I was eating a cheesesteak. I ordered a fucking cheesesteak. A fucking cheesesteak. It was chopped ribeye, and it was fucking chicken. And it was low grade, like Subway grade fucking chicken. Because I was looking at it, I was like, is this fish? Is this fake crab meat? What the fuck is this? But I ate it all the same. At any rate, it was a great concert. Thank you for watching my vlog. I'm gonna take a bath. I need a bath. I got a lot of heat and friction buildup. I gotta take a bath. Anyways, what the fuck has this channel become? Cheers.